All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Melissa. I am the Social Media and Marketing Development Coordinator with Spirit of the Sun. I'm here today to lead us all through a Zoom 101 kind of training just to get familiar with their offerings and what kind of services and ability the platform provides us in terms of video conferencing right now during COVID. I'm here with two other team members, Summers and Rose. They're here being my moral support and to chime in with their own kind of advice. But we do have a presentation ready to go through for everyone. So we will go ahead and get started with that. If there are any follow-up questions, you can direct those to us by email or phone number. We're pretty much accessible. I'll be sure to have my information displayed, so you will know how to reach out further if you do have any follow-up questions. I'm going to go ahead and share our presentation to begin. So again, we're going to be going over the platform Zoom. Zoom is a very cool platform for connecting with others virtually. It's accessible both like through iPad, laptop, on your phone. They make it pretty easy to connect and talk with others. There's meetings, and then there's also webinars. Right now, for example, this is a webinar that we are doing via Zoom. Again, you can kind of see it's kind of cool because we have like the capacity to share our screens, and it makes it, apologies in advance if there's any breaking up on my end, but that is my internet and not Zoom. So, but it does make it pretty easy to meet with others, present different things. So it's kind of meta because here we are doing a presentation via Zoom and learning about Zoom. So here we go. First piece of advice with Zoom is just to take your time. I know personally it was an adjustment to get familiar with the platform when we started using it to do meetings and webinars. So patience on all ends is thankfully my experience with it so far. Many people understand the struggles that come with Zoom, but we can all appreciate it for also what it offers us. So just patience and not getting frustrated with the platform or giving up on it. Just give it a chance, and it can definitely be helpful, and it has its benefits for sure. It does, again, have its share of frustrations, but once you learn how to navigate past those, it's pretty easy. Awesome. So first thing when we are trying to join a Zoom meeting, join a webinar, or to host our own, we want to make sure that all our systems are working. So again, you can use Zoom on a plethora of different tech. You can use it on a smartphone, tablet, laptop, and desktop computer. I will be demonstrating how to use it off of a phone here shortly. So stay tuned for that. But basically, you will want a device usually that at least has audio working. If you're just trying to listen in theory, you could just call in and listen that way. But if you want to be able to speak and converse, you want to make sure that you also have a microphone that you can speak into and not just a speaker. The camera also is helpful just to be able to see others, or if you want to share your own video, you will want to have a device that has a working camera. And you can enable and disable those, and we'll go over that as well. If you don't have access to a smart device per se, you are again able to just call into a meeting, which is also kind of nice because you can do that just off of any kind of phone with service, and it provides you just a number to dial. You call in, and it's pretty easy again. So before entering a meeting, we just suggest you ask yourselves these questions. Is your online meeting app loading well? So again, connectivity is probably one of the biggest things navigating right now, just because so many people are online or using the internet at a given time in a given location that there can be some connection issues. So just making sure that you do have a good connection. Like for example, my room gets worse internet connection for some reason than my living room. So sometimes I'll move out there for meetings. And just, gauging that and being able to navigate that is helpful. Have you installed the actual app for Zoom? We're going to go over how to do that, but having the actual app for the program definitely helps make this an easier process. So highly recommend downloading it if you haven't already. Is your audio system working? So you can test your audio before joining the meeting. It will give you an opportunity to kind of make sure to enable your microphone, your speaker, and just make sure that's all working. And that's so, again, you can hear everyone and also make sure you can be heard. And you will have to play with that, especially with like headphones or anything like that. And we'll cover that as well, how to kind of make sure that you're connected and being um, listened to. So here, and we will also have this Zoom presentation up on our website, so you can go ahead and find this link on it. And if you are ready to go to the download center to download Zoom, again, I highly recommend this. You don't necessarily have to download it if you don't want to, but it does kind of help just facilitate and make it an easier process. You're just going to click this link below or go to www.zoom.us/download. And this is a free and safe platform. It's being used by schools. It's being used by a lot of companies. It's very secure and private, so you don't necessarily need to worry about any privacy concerns or issues. But you do obviously want to practice safe internet usage. So if you are using a login, just making sure you keep that private or creating an account. Our organization has our own account, which is how we're facilitating this webinar right now. But here are all the different ways that you can download or add Zoom to your browser, to your computer itself, or onto your phone. So here are all those download links. For example, I am working off of my Mac right now, so I have it installed as an app, and that makes it really easy for me to just open the application as needed, and then it will just load and do most of the heavy lifting for myself. And that is why, again, I do recommend downloading the app. But again, you are able to join meetings without per se having an account. If you just have a link to a meeting, you can just click and join it that way in a browser. So once you have it installed, congrats, that is honestly going to help you out a lot. And then we can discuss more of the functionalities within the app. So if you've received an email invitation to join a Zoom meeting, there's a few different links in those emails, so it can be a bit confusing. The one you're going to want to click is the one that says join meeting. And as soon as you click that, again, it will open it either in the app if you have it or in a browser for you. And then you will be able to tweak kind of your settings before entering the meeting. So let's go over what those settings are and what those look like. Again, you're going to want to click Zoom meeting and then go, or you can enter the meeting ID. So the 9-digit meeting ID is what you'd enter. I'll show you that on the phone, but there's a meeting ID for all meetings on Zoom. And you can also enter that. If there is a password to join a meeting, which more often than not, I would say there is, that's also going to be in the invitation email and you can input it. Or again, you can dial in by your phone and it will give you that number in that same email inviting you to the meeting. And you just call into that. When you are logging in, make sure you do it with a few minutes to spare, just again for loading times and connection and being able to tweak your settings and adjustments. You just want to make sure that you're joining at a time that's considered with everyone, but also gives you enough time to make sure you are connected okay and have all your settings the way you prefer them. Don't necessarily pay too much mind to the waiting room aspect of Zoom. If a meeting starts at 1 per se, and then it's like 1:02 and you're still sitting in the waiting room waiting for the host to let you in, that's very common. And it probably just means that the host is working on getting everyone allowed into the meeting. There's some steps that need to happen before that. So that doesn't mean you aren't doing anything correctly. If anything, you're probably totally in the right space and going to be let into the meeting any second. So don't exit, just wait. and it will let you in. It'll tell you, please hold, the host will let you in shortly, or there's a variety of messages it might say, but just give it a few seconds or minutes, and then you should be good to go. If you do sense that you're not in the right meeting or click the wrong link or something like that, um, that is a separate issue, but the waiting room is very common, and just I'd say give it 5 minutes or so for people to trickle in or for you to be let into a meeting. And you can always reach out to the host directly if for some reason you aren't being let into the meeting. That is another issue, but that doesn't have anything to do with your fault or anything you're doing wrong. That is just kind of the host's responsibility. So I hope that makes sense. Questions. So once you open it, you are going to see a preview of your camera image. So for example, I could see myself the way I'm sitting right now. I can preview what I am going to appear to others. And then I can either click join with video or join without video, dependent on if I actually do want to be seen on screen. This is completely personal preference. You can do either. Some meetings, people prefer to be on cameras with others. If you prefer to be face-to-face, you can have your camera on. You can also turn it on and off as you go into a meeting. So it doesn't initially have to be on for it to be on for the meeting. You can tweak that at any time really during the webinar or meeting. And if you do not join with video, all it's going to do is display your name. So you are going to want to make sure that your name in the meeting helps people identify you. Sometimes it does just join as like iPhone, which is hard for others to be able to tell who you are. Or if you're joining in with a link, it will sometimes do like an organizational name, or if someone else on a device had used Zoom before to log in some way, you might come in as like someone else's name. So always checking what name you come in as is kind of an important thing as well. But of course with video, you can see who is who, but you can rename yourself. And then with audio, usually it's best practice to have your audio off as you join a meeting, just in case it is already in process, or people are already speaking and you don't want to interrupt them. So initially, I usually have my audio off and then turn it on just to make sure that people can hear me when I'm introducing myself. And if you can't hear anyone, that might also be you needing to enable your speakers. But that again is off your device, just making sure the sound is up or you're not muted on your laptop or phone or anything like that, so you can hear others. And that takes a little bit of adjustment. Usually as you're popping into the Zoom room, people are saying greetings and testing out their audio, and you can do it then. Again, it is pretty important to mute your microphone when it's not your turn to talk. That is something that happens a lot with Zoom meetings, is background noise can interfere with the flow of the conversation or presentation. So any unwanted noise, it just should be eliminated by muting when you are not speaking. And again, that just kind of allows whoever is speaking to make sure they're not competing with any background noise or anything kind of drowning out what they're saying. And it just helps with the flow of the meeting as well. You also want to make sure you're not on mute when you are trying to speak, however, because that can kind of happen too, where you kind of are talking and then you realize you were muted the whole time. So monitoring your mute and your microphone and camera are kind of the biggest things you're going to have to do on your end during a meeting, just to make sure, again, that it's to your preference and you're participating in whatever capacity you'd like to. How can you tell if you are muted? This is what's kind of nice, is these symbols that Zoom provides, and you click those to toggle between muted and unmuted. So the red slash through the mute means that you are muted. So clicking it would unmute you, which is why it says unmute. And then the one with no slash through it and it says mute, when you are trying to mute, you would click that. So hopefully that makes sense, but it kind of demonstrates for you when you can be heard and when you can't be heard. And again, you just kind of want to make sure that Dependent on if you're speaking or not, you are one or the other. So the red line is the biggest indicator. And then again, you can have your video on or off depending on what you are comfortable with and the format of the meeting. If you do choose to have your camera on, be mindful of the fact that everyone in the meeting can see you and see what you're displaying from your camera view. So, just not showing anything you prefer not to. And then if you do want to have it on, don't want to have it on, sorry, I mean to say, again, it's just going to display your name and kind of like a gray box. So you'll still be there, you'll still be participating, just people won't be able to see you. Awesome. And then once you do have all your settings the way you prefer them, you will be able to just like participate, and then you're in the Zoom meeting. The host will either end the meeting for everyone or you can choose to leave the meeting. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of do a show and tell portion now so you can see what this will actually look like. I'm going to use the example of my phone. So when I'm trying to join a Zoom meeting off of my phone, this is what it looks like, and this is what I have to do. Let's see. There we go. It's loading right now. Okay, awesome. So this is my phone. I've already installed the Zoom app, so you can see it right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. So right now I'm not signed in as anyone. I haven't done anything preemptively, so whichever way you do install your app, this is what it will initially look like. So it's going to give me the opportunity to join a meeting, sign up for an account, or sign in if I have an existing account. When you are trying to sign in, you can do it through your Google account. You can do it on your Facebook account. If you want to integrate and link them, that is up to you. It basically just gives you a login. Excuse the notifications. But yeah, so for example, I'm going to see if I can join this meeting that I'm hosting right now with my phone. So again, this is kind of where my name is going to be, so I can adjust this. It's also good practice in a lot of meetings to add in your pronouns or organization name if you're trying to give people maybe more context as to how to address you properly or how you would prefer to be addressed and what name to use, or pronunciation as well. Whatever you want to put here, you can. This is just something that others are going to see. So meeting ID. There's examples of other meetings I've done before. But so you put in the number again from like an invitation, and then you can see the join options down here are don't connect to audio, turn off my video initially when I join, and then you're just going to want to make sure you have those how you prefer them. And then once you click join, you are in.